In this video, we're going to look at the latest real estate sales statistics for Hesperia, California. And as we look at each of them, you're going to see the exact direction the real estate market is headed for Hesperia. My name's Dave Rupp, also known as Dr. Hot Rod the Realtor. All my contact information is in the description below. Feel free to reach out to me with any real estate related questions. Okay, so first thing up is going to be the interest rates. They've been bouncing around like a rubber ball for the last month. All right, so we started at the beginning of August at around 7.06 for a 30-year fixed rate loan. By the 22nd of August, it had bumped up to 7.49. Since then, it's gone back down to 7.06 and back up. Okay, so we got a couple more things to think about with interest rates. One, we got core inflation numbers coming out in the next 3 days. That's going to affect how the Fed views what to do with interest rates. The Fed's got 3 more meetings this year. One of them next is going to be 10 days out. Okay, so the Fed has definitely said that they still have not taken off the table raising the interest rate another 0.25% before the year's over. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. Economists are kind of up in the air on whether they will or won't. One of the negatives about raising the rate would be it puts a little more pressure on the stock market and it puts a little more pressure on the banking system. So the Fed's not going to want to cause banking failures, so they'll be real careful about this for sure, but we'll see how they play it out. Any which way, whether they do or don't raise it a 0.25 point, we're still a few months out from them hitting the peak, I think, of where the interest rate's going to start turning and going down again. Once we see them get happy with the inflation rate, which their target is 2%, then we'll see them start to drop the interest rate to get the economy moving again, and that's when we're going to see some craziness in the housing market. We got a lot of people sitting on the sidelines, and as soon as the interest rates start dropping, I think people are going to start jumping, and I don't mean off the deck. Okay, so sales prices of single-family residents are nudging up each month for the last 4 months. Right now we're at 440, 330 for average sale price for Hesperia. That's actually increased 5 out of the last 6 months. And that is only about 5.5% lower than the peak in June of 2022. Which, when you consider we had double-digit increases for 21 and 22, to lose 5% in 23 isn't hurting us a ton. Okay, so let's look at how many days it takes to sell a home. Right now in Hesperia, it's taken an average of about 20 days. This is solidly interesting. 20 days is a record low of days to sell a house for 5 years now. That's an indicator of strong buyer demand right there. Okay, inventory, number of homes that are available for sale. That's actually been increasing for the last 4 months in a row because more people are bringing houses on the market for sale than the people that are actually buying houses. So the number of houses at the end of each month is increasing a little bit each month. That's actually good for buyers. This gives buyers more options, which when the days on market are 20 days and the inventory is low, buyers need more options. All right, so the next statistic I'm going to share is the percentage of sale price compared to the list price originally. Okay, so the actual sale price is 101.7% of the original list price right now. So that means the average of the houses that are selling are definitely selling for more than they originally put it on the market for. This is another indicator of a definite strong buyer demand. Okay, next up is going to be absorption rate or month supply. What that basically means is how long is it going to take if no other houses came on the market to sell every house that's for sale right now. Right now, the statistic on that is 2.4 months, which is still low. That is still considered a seller's market. All right, so to bring it full circle, current interest rates are still playing a part in the buyer demand being a little slower than it could be. But since inventory is still very low, that's just fine. It's all balancing out, still maintaining a seller market. House prices are still climbing. They're not as high as they were in June of 2022, but they still are climbing. Interest rates are expected to go down in the next few months, 3 to 6 months. Okay, so let's put all the data together and see what it's telling us. Okay, First thing, we've still got decent buyer demand because average is 20 days and your house is selling. Okay, prices are rising. People are paying 101.7% of original ask price. So it's not like the prices are having to be lowered and lowered and lowered to sell houses. People are putting a house out there for sale and someone's coming along and offering them more than they were asking because it's still a competitive deal. Okay, so in the near future, what can we expect? Typically seasonal decline. It slows down around the holidays. People get busy and don't want to deal with this stuff. We can also expect potentially another increase in the interest rate, which is going to kind of cool buyer demand a little bit more. We can also expect inventories to stay relatively low. Put this all together as a buyer or as a seller. Okay, so as a buyer, the best thing for a buyer is to buy when no one else is buying. If you wait until everyone else is wanting to buy, then inventory starts going down, prices start going up, things get more competitive, you start having to waive your contingencies or offer over asking, drastically over asking, waive inspections, things like that. Okay, you don't want to get there. This winter probably is going to be the best season through October into early spring is going to be the best season for a buyer. The inventory is going to be higher, the number of people looking are going to be lower, but as soon as the interest rate starts coming down and people start getting back in the game, it's going to change. You want to be locked into a deal before that happens. If you're a seller, if you need to sell, it's not a bad time to sell. If you need to sell and rebuy, it's a good time to sell. If you're selling a vacation house or a rental property, I'd hang out for a while, let the value keep nudging up, and once you hit the next peak, then I'd look to be selling somewhere around the next peak. Right now the data suggests we're on our way up, so if you're not in a hurry to sell it, hang on to it.